All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into Edgar Allan Poe's The Oval Portrait. It's this super short, super chilling story that really gets you thinking about a terrifying question. When does passion cross the line and become a destructive obsession? And what's the real price of creating something perfect?
So, let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in this chateau, kind of tucked away in the Italian mountains. Poe calls it a mix of gloom and grandeur, which is just perfect, right? Imagine this place. It's huge and beautiful, but it's also falling apart. It's got this dark, romantic vibe, and here's the kicker. It's been mysteriously abandoned. Super creepy.
Now, our narrator isn't just some tourist checking the place out. No, this guy is in serious trouble. He's badly wounded, he's delirious with fever, and his valet basically forces him to hide out there for the night. So right from the get-go, Poe is telling us, hey, you can't really trust what this guy sees. His mind is already twisted by pain as he holds up in this random, super ornate room.
Well, sleep is pretty much out of the question for him. He's way too sick. So what does he do? He gets completely fixated on all the paintings hanging on the walls, and to kind of distract himself, he starts really studying them. He even finds this little book on his pillow that's basically a guide to the art, telling the story behind each piece.
Okay, so he's reading this book, right? But the candelabrum, the fancy candle holder, is in a weird spot, casting shadows on the pages. So he gets a little annoyed and reaches out to move it. Just a tiny, simple thing to do, but this one little action is about to change everything. And just like that, moving the candle sends a beam of light into a dark corner of the room, a little nook that was totally hidden by the bedpost. And bam! Suddenly there it is, a portrait of a young woman that he had completely missed before.
So what's his first reaction? It's weirdly intense. It's totally involuntary. The second he sees it, he slams his eyes shut. It's this gut-level, physical reaction, and for a second he has no idea why he even did it.
He actually keeps his eyes closed for a minute, just trying to get a grip. He's thinking, wait, what did I just see? Was that real? Or is this just the fever playing tricks on me? He knows he needs to calm down before he can look again, to see it with, as Poe says, a more sober and certain gaze. And when he finally forces himself to look again, he gets it. It's not that the woman in the portrait is beautiful, or that the painting is technically amazing. No, it's something way, way creepier. It's the absolute lifelikeness of it. It's so real that it doesn't even feel like a painting anymore. It feels alive. And that realism, it's not just startling, it's appalling, deeply unsettling. At this point, he has to know what's going on. What is the deal with this painting? So he shoves the candelabrum back to where it was, throwing the portrait back into shadow, and he just frantically starts flipping through that book, desperate to find the entry for this specific portrait.
And sure enough, he finds it. This is where Poe pulls us into a story within a story. We're about to learn the tragic history behind this painting, the story of the painter and his young bride.
So check out this contrast Poe sets up. It's just so tragic from the start. On one hand, you've got the painter. He's passionate, yeah, but also serious, stern, a guy who is basically already married to his work, to his arts. And then you want his bride. She's the complete opposite, just full of joy, all light and smiles. And the only thing she hates, it's the art that's her rival for her husband's attention.
And this is where it all starts to go wrong. It begins with a simple request. The painter asks his bride to sit for a portrait. She agrees, and that one decision kicks off this dark, terrible spiral into obsession.
And this whole process just drags on for weeks, stuck up in this dark little room. The painter, he's completely gone, totally lost in his work, what Poe calls his artistic reverie. He's so focused, so obsessed, that he literally doesn't see his wife getting weaker and paler right in front of him. And then comes one of the most chilling lines in the story. Poe tells us the paint he's putting on the canvas is being drawn right from the cheeks of the person sitting there.
So his passion for art has officially turned into a dangerous, wild obsession. He basically locks himself away. He's not even looking at his wife anymore. His eyes are only on the canvas. He's choosing to be blind to a terrible truth. As his painting becomes more and more alive, his actual, living wife is fading away.
After all this time, all these weeks, he's almost there. The painting is nearly done. There's just one tiny touch left for the mouth, and one last bit of color for the eye. That's it. That's all it'll take to make it perfect.
He applies that final brushstroke, steps back, and he's just mesmerized by what he's made. He's totally in awe, completely triumphant. And he shouts out that his painting, it isn't just a painting anymore.
This is indeed life itself. And in that exact moment, that high of artistic creation, he turns from the canvas to look at his wife. But it's too late. The very instant his painting became life itself, the very second it achieved that perfect, startling lifelike quality, her life was gone. She was dead. His art had, quite literally, consumed her.
So, what are we supposed to take away from this? Well, Poe's story is really a dark, dark warning, isn't it? It frames the act of creating art as a kind of theft. It's almost like vampirism, where to capture a perfect image of life, the artist literally has to steal that life from the real world. Passion can go way too far, and the price of perfection can be everything.
And that's the haunting question Poe leaves us with. And it's not just about painting, right? It's about any great ambition we might have. Where do you draw the line between healthy passion and a destructive obsession, between creating something and destroying something else? And maybe the toughest question of all is, what are we willing to sacrifice in our own lives to get what we want?